Hey everyone, welcome to the channel, welcome to my stream, welcome to another part working on this guy right here, this guy right there. That's our Tamiya heavy dump truck. So let's get started, shall we? We are progressing along pretty good. If I grab this little guy right here, as you can see, I've got all the aluminum suspension arms installed, and they're pretty good, and I like it. It's looking nice and pretty. I've got the front shock on there. I don't remember if I actually finished. It's been almost a week since I actually worked on this thing. So I don't remember if I actually put this shock on there. I don't think I did, because we're going to be working on shocks today. And so I do have one already installed, and we're going to get the other three installed today. But I do want to show you guys how the actual shocks in the kit, how those get assembled and how you'd put those on, and we'll show you that. I did also want to show you guys the difference in the aluminum arms and the actual kit arms. I did assemble the kit arms. I did that off camera, obviously, because you guys didn't get to see that. This is just a comparison. I'll switch the camera here and I'll get my coffee out of the way. Get this out of the way. Okay. So this is one of the rear arms, and then this is one of the steering arms. Okay, this is basically what it would look like, and this is basically the difference there. Let's put that aside. That's the difference in your front arms going from the aluminum to the kit arms. Okay, one thing you notice, this is sitting off to the side. You notice that I did install this last time. Obviously it's no longer on the kit. I used the aluminum rods that come with the aluminum kit, and I put those in there instead of this, and I'll show you why in a minute. Our rear arms, there's a difference in the rear arms. One like that, much beefier in the plastic, obviously, but yeah, that's the main difference there. So I'll show you guys why I don't have this on. Okay, in the kit, when you're putting on the arms on the front, where's my other front arm here? When you're putting the arms on the front, okay, I'll show you guys on the other. This is the chassis that comes in the kit. So your front arms go on here and here, and they go on like, let's see here, they go on like this. Okay, like this, like that on there, and then this one goes on this side like this. Okay, like that, and then that rod runs through this and like that. Get that through, get those lined up. Get it lined up and it'll go through. Got one side in, there we go. Okay, it goes through like this. Okay, and that's how your arms get on. And then of course this part here, that goes in right there, bing, and that goes in there like this, bing, and there's your upper arms like that. So being held in like that, then your arms can go up and down, yeah, just like that. That's how that goes together. Okay, now on the front here, I don't have it out, you have this piece here. Okay, this guy here, that goes onto the front here, and then onto these two spots you have this piece. This piece would get bolted on right there, or screwed in right there. Okay, and what this piece does is it goes over on top of this like that. It kind of sits right about there, and it holds that rod in place. Okay, it'll hold this in place like that, so it doesn't move anywhere. And that's all good and fine when you're using these arms, because this doesn't have any play. The problem though with the aluminum, when I used this on the aluminum parts, it was sticking out. It had about 3/4 of an inch of play. It could move front and back. Even with this on here, we have such a huge gap here in here that I could slide it in and out, in and out, in and out, and I did not want that moving constantly like that. So that's why I went with the rods that come with the kit. I put them in there, and that's why I have not used these. I didn't use this on there. So that's why. Okay, so that's a little brief summary. So today, if I could flip back in my book here, we are going to go, see, we've done the front suspension, we've put the rear suspension on, our arms and all that stuff. That's all installed now. So we're going to move on to building the shocks. Now the shocks basically, as you can see, I kind of got one already pre-assembled here. The shocks basically are all these parts here, okay, including this screw, which I will take out of here. Where's my screwdriver? Okay. Okay. Basically, this is an assembled shock here. Okay. So what you do is you take one of these screws. This is the MC8, and you're going to take this right through the body here. Okay. And then you're going to put this tip on, and this just threads on. So I get it started there a little bit, and then I grab a screwdriver and just get it tight. Okay. And I'll just do a few threads because I'm not using these shocks anyway. All right, I've got these shocks I'm going to be using. So now these shocks are not oil filled, and that's why I'm not using them. Now the kit comes with a little roll with a bunch of rubber tubing, roughly this long. So it shows you want to cut them in 4 12mm lengths, and that's roughly what I've got here. That's just going to drop in the top here like that. Okay. And then you're going to put this cap on. Now this has a little notch right there, so it only goes in. See how it's not in all the way, and it's when I line it up, that's going to fall into place, doink, like that. Okay. Then you're going to take one of these screws, MA2 screws, put that in there, get that lined up, and you're going to screw that in. I won't do it that tight. It's going to lock that in, so that's not going anywhere. And now you can already feel there's some resistance in that shock. Okay, like that. Then you're going to take one of the 4 springs that comes in the kit. Okay. These springs are really kind of stiff. That's another reason why I don't really like them. That just goes on there like this. And then you're going to take this piece. You want to have this side. You'll notice one side kind of has a big flat area, and the other side doesn't. So the flat area is going to face the spring. Okay. And I'm going to grab it. This is how I do it. Grab it like that, and then I squeeze with my fingers. And you're going to take that, you're going to line it up on the rod, slip it in like that. Okay, see how I did that? Okay, right, slide it up and go like that. And then let go of the spring. And there you go. Now there's a bunch of play in that, right? So Tamiya has these clips, spacers that go on there. And that's going to add some resistance. It's going to go on there, make the spring tight like that so that this can now go up and down. But it's totally friction, okay? That rubber piece inside there, that rubber tubing offers some restriction as you compress and release that shock like that. And that's it. And you do that 4 times and you've got your 4 shocks assembled. And that is it. That's all that is to these shocks. These, of course, are a little more complicated. These are also Tamiya. These are not aftermarket ones. These are Tamiya. These are part of their hop-up options. These are aluminum, and they are filled with oil. Okay, and there's a just a few more parts to it. Instead of that big rubber piece, you've got a couple of O-rings that go inside there. That's going to make it seal. To seal it all up, you got an O-ring at the top, and even an O-ring on the little shaft out here. Right here, there's a little O-ring there. That adds a little bit of dampening if you actually bottom out the shock, right? And all that, so it adds that. And yeah, it's just a little more smooth, it's more fluid, it reacts better because it's got shock oil in it. And yeah, so I like these much better, and they look really pretty. So yeah, we're going to put those on today instead of these factory ones. Of course, I'll show you on the factory ones, which just simply mount right here and there, like that. That's where they mount. You put a screw in through there and a screw in through on the bottom, and there you go, they're mounted. My aluminum ones, though, they're a little more complicated. Not much, but a little bit. Okay, so let's just put the instructions aside for a moment. The aluminum ones, you have to put these little balls in them. Okay, so let's undo this. I have them in here just so that they're ready to go. You have to put these little balls in there. Okay, these little guys here. Okay, that's these guys. Okay, these guys there. Okay, they go in here, and they're tight. They're really tight. Okay, I've got the other one here. So take this one out. Now all this comes in the aluminum kit. So we got little spacers and everything to get them all lined up properly. So there's the other ball. Okay, now these got to press in here. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll hold it like this, and then I get my pliers and I'll snap that in there like this. Okay, and then squeeze. There we go, we're in. Okay, and I'll do the same again. And I've already done this with my other 3 shocks, so just line that up there. Nice little balance. Pliers, and done. Okay, now we'll put this one on. I'll start with the bottom. So with the bottom, I want to have this flat part facing the aluminum, not the screw head. So it's going to go through there like this. I'll put my 2 spacers on. You have to put the spacers on the bottom, otherwise the shock really sits at a funny angle. Okay, so I'll just tip this over a little bit so it's a little easier. Line that up, get the threads started. Oh, you know what I forgot I want to do? See, I had it all put in just finger tight before, but now I'm actually installing them. I want to get my blue Loctite out. My blue Loctite. I want to make sure this is all going to stay together forever. I do not trust the screws going into the aluminum without Loctite. Simply because there's all kinds of vibrations and things that go on these RC cars when you're running them around. I want to make sure screws don't back out, because that really sucks. When screws back out and they fall, your car falls apart on you somewhere out in the... You see, I can make this really tight. I don't really want to do super tight. There should be a little bit of play. There we go. Unfortunately, if I do make it play, I'll leave it tight. So now we do the top. Bingo. No space spacer at the top. See, even without a spacer, you can see, try and get this at an angle, you can see this is kind of sticking out further at the top than it is at the bottom. Even though I've got two spacers at the bottom here to bring this out further, it's not quite perfectly straight up and down. As you can see, if I get this, kind of get this kit on my board straight, you can see the angle that the shock's at. Now it does move nice and there's no resistance at all. It's perfect, right? But still, there is that, just the way they've designed it is kind of funny. Okay. Loctite on the screw. And go through here and select the third hole in. See, they do, it's kind of funny, they give us so many holes to mount the shock, but realistically it only can go in the bottom row because of the shock body actually hits the aluminum. So you may think, wow, I've got like so many options on where I can mount it, but realistically you don't. There we go, we're in the hole. Okay. This guy threaded in tight. There we go. And bingo, that one's in. Now I did not put Loctite on these yet, so I need to do that. So I'm going to remove this shock. This one was just kind of test fit kind of thing. That's what this one was. This one was a test just to see how it's all going to fit together. So Loctite on there. In that hole. Snug that one down. Now take this one out. I think what happens, why this bottom screw is so tight, is because of the screw they tell you to use. This one is tapered on the inside, and that's why it goes into that hole and kind of tightens up on it. And that's why, if you were to use, like I've got on the top, I've got a round head screw on the top one, that would probably be different. It would just go up flush against it. And it wouldn't be an issue. From there. Spacer 1, spacer 2. I want a little more Loctite on there. Okay. Okay. And we are tight. Okay. Double check the smoothness. There we go. First time chat. Okay. Best viewers. Oh yeah, thanks for the advertisement. And I've lost a bearing. Where somebody decided to fall out. Ah, I lost a bearing out of there. Until we get the pins in there, these bearings have a tendency to fall out. Okay, our front shocks are done. Okay, now we're going to go with the rear shocks. Rear shocks are basically the same. So I've got those. I've got to find my screws that go into the top here. Excuse me. Screws for the top. Where are you? thought I had them put aside. Oh, the screws, I did have them put aside, they're on this. This guy's got to go on. Bingo, like that. So I have to install that. I need to refer to my instructions that came with this and see the screws that actually mount that. The M3 by 20. No. So we have options. We can put spacers in there, or we don't put spacers. I don't know why they're giving me options of spacers. So we'll do the M3 by 20 or the M3 by 14s. They're just going to be round head screws. And where are they? This is not the screw kit that comes with it. It's these ones. This actually comes with a lot of screws, which is great because you get options. So you can do the super long ones or shorter ones. We got a wheelie bar that's going to go on the back there. I'm going to skip ahead in my instructions and I'm going to assemble the wheelie bar. So let's just do that now. Okay. Let's skip ahead in our instructions a little bit and let's get the wheelie bar assembled. Where is the wheelie bar? Right here, okay? Let's get this assembled. Looks like off of our F tree, right here, includes our front bumper. Let's just take this off too. And look at that, we've got our spacers for the shock. Let's take one of these off and I'll show you. Actually, I'll take them both off just so that I can get rid of the sprue. Okay. Take these pieces off. These are all for the wheelie bar. Including the wheel. You need a wheel for the wheelie bar. This is just going to help me determine which screws I need to use there by actually having the wheelie bar assembled. Now there is a piece here I need MC11. I have to find that. MC11. I don't know if that's metal or if it's plastic or what. So we got a leftover sprue. That's garbage now. There's nothing on there, right? Yeah. So here's one of these clips for the shock I was telling you about. That would snap in place. Squeeze this spring down. That snaps in there and that adds some resistance, and now you've got a shock that, although there's some play, it suddenly gets resistance. And yeah, I don't like these. They're just too flabby. They will do, but they're not the best option. Okay, I've got these. I want to clean these up because I don't like having rough plastic on it. I know it's not exactly a super precision model kit where you need everything looking fancy and clean, but still I like it to be smooth. These two are going to go together like this. You get your wheel going to go in there, but I need an axle for the wheel, and that's where MC11 comes in play. Here's my bumper. Let's put that back in here. MC11, I need to figure out where MC11 is. What bag that came in. I'm guessing it's going to be from the C bag. Of course, we can refer back to the back of the book and see where MC11 goes. It shows you our 3 bags. And MC11 right here out of the C bag. Okay, and so that's out of this one. This is my C bag. I've got my bumper springs in there. MC11, that's going to be this guy here. Nope, that's not. MC11 is a shaft. Oh, it's not that one. It's not that one. Is it? Okay, it's a shaft, but I have two shafts in here that look the same, just different colors. One's a little bit longer than the other. Those are the only shafts in here. It's not that. So, I just found a solution to my problem of my bearings coming off of my wheel axles. I can put the 4 lock nuts on them for the wheels. But those are the only 2 shafts I have, and so I don't know which one I need, really. Let's see. Okay. These guys go on here. Now, even if a bearing does slide off, it's going to hit the wheel nut. And I want to make it just a little bit tight, so I'm just going to hold that. There we go. Okay. They're log nuts, so they get nice and tight so they don't come off. I just want them kind of finger tight right now. There we go, that's all I need. Okay, let's put that back aside over here. MC11, I will need to make sure, because we've got MC11 and MC12. MC11 is 21 millimeters and the 12 is 19. So MC11 is what we need, and that's the longer one. That's that. They show it going through here. It's just a shaft. Okay, I gotcha. So that goes back in there, put the lid on. Oh, don't forget my label. Bing. Okay, let's get this together now. I thought it was an actual a tube or something. So put that in like that, and this goes like that. And now, bingo, we got a wheel that spins. So we got a couple of screws got to go in there. MA2 screws. We all are familiar with those now. Lots of those screws. Where's my pliers? Or where's my tweezers? MA2s right here, bing, bang. Now there is an aluminum option you can buy, the same from Racing, the same company that makes all this aluminum parts for this kit. There's an aluminum wheelie bar you can buy. If you really want to complete that aluminum look and have everything aluminum. The reason I did not go with that is I want to try and hide. I don't want the wheelie bar to be super obvious, right? After all, what dump truck has a wheelie bar? You know what I mean? Like, it'd be different if I was, there's a guy online who's did a custom thing and actually made it into RC magazine, a radio controlled magazine, and his was featured, and he used the Toyota Land Cruiser body, and he did the full aluminum everything on it, and it all looks cool, and he's got the blue aluminum wheelie bar, and it does look cool. So this is going to go like that, and so that's going to tell me which screws I need to use on this, right? So let's get rid of this. This is going to go on here, okay, and then this is going to go here. Now, Tamiya wants you to mount the wheelie bar like this, okay, in that position. That's going to give you a lot of travel, so you can really do wheelies, right? Look at the angle on that. I want to try and keep my front wheels down, however, which means I want to try and see what it's like with the wheelie bar like that, right? So that this thing will stay a little more controllable. That's my intention anyway. So anyway, I need to decide, do I want to use the, I think I'm going to use, no, they say, why wheelie, why have a spacer? Spacers was going to do this and mount it sticking out like this a little bit. I don't see any benefit to that. I don't see any reason why I need to put spacers. Why am I going to have this sticking out an extra couple of millimeters? That doesn't make any difference. That doesn't make sense to me. So I'm going to use the shorter screws, and so let me see, they want, which ones are the 14 mil? I'm going to grab my ruler. Which ones are the 14 mil? Are you a 14 mil? Yep, that's 14 mil. So I need 4 of those. 2, 3, 4. Okay. So I want to see, are these going to be loose without the wheelie bar on there? That's going to be a challenge, I think. Let's see. So obviously that's got a long travel going through into the body. Let's do a little check here. Compare this guy. Looking at where that wheelie bar mounts, our screws go in kind of right there, and that's how deep they're going to go. You can see the recess in there, there and there. That's where those screws go. So they are going to hit eventually. It's only going to allow me to go that far in there, up to there, which means sticking out that far. I might be just hitting the edge by only having them into the aluminum. I suppose in theory having like a 13 mil screw instead of a 14 might be better, but let's get that lined up. This is where having a drill might be a little bit handy. Let's take that out. Now, you got to be careful with a drill. You don't want to strip anything, but these screws are pretty. I'm not going to go all the way. I want to hand tighten the rest of the way. Get that one started. It just saves me a few minutes of hand tightening these. Like I said before, you want to be careful. This one started, and this one Started. Okay. And then this one, finally. Okay. I'm going to do the rest by hand because the drill can be so powerful that you can go right through into the plastic and you can really do some damage without really realizing it. I want to see if I feel it bottom out before it gets tight, and it just did. So this is going to be loose without this on there. You need the wheelie bar with these screws, or I use a shorter screw. That's an option too, which I do have. I do have slightly shorter ones, although I'm running low on them. I do have shorter ones I could use just to get this thing mounted. Do I have 4? Looks like I only have 3 shorter ones in here. So my options are limited if I didn't want to use the wheelie bar at all. Oh no, there it is. Bing, I do have 4. All right, I'm going to remove these ones and I'm going to put the shorter ones in just so that this is tight. And I don't need the wheelie bar, but I know when I do the wheelie bar, I got to swap them out. Okay, so we'll do that. So, using the drill to get these out faster. So what I'm going to do . Okay, whew, gets warm. That's kind of the nature of this. You're kind of creating threads in the plastic with the screws by doing it like this, which is kind of the nature of these. Okay, now let's get a shorter one. Get this in here. Let's get another one. Third one. Take our 4th one out. And put our 4th shorter one in. Okay. Tighten these guys up. There we go. 2, 3, 4. All right. Our aluminum piece is tightened up, nice and tight. Good. So these, we know that we got to use these later. When it comes time to actually put the wheelie bar on, we'll take these screws out. Bing. There you go. That's what's going to happen. So, back to our shocks. Let's roll her away. Back to our shocks, okay? So we got these guys, and these are going to go on there. Now I've already put our little balls in there, so that's all that needs to be done. Let's start with the top. Okay, again, gonna go like this. Loctite. And I'm going to go with the very outside ones to make the rear shocks more straight up and down. It's nice and tight. We'll do our, see, this is the top one is pretty tight too, but that's okay. Let's put the other one on, the fourth shock. Again, I'm not going with any spacers up top. Go. I'm not going to do it super snug. I'm just going to back it off a little bit here, just so it's a little easier to install. There we go. Okay, flip her upside down. These. Okay. Through there. Put our spacer on. Loctite. Twink. Snug that up, and I'll just tighten up the bottom one. There we go. Got this one. Through there. Spacer. Loctite. That's tight. And that's tight. Okay, let's test them out. Pretty good. Bingo, bingo, bingo. Now you see the rear ones, they seem to line up a little bit better. This is more straight up and down compared to the front, right? Or the front are sticking out at the out here. So it's just the way that looks like that's the way Tamiya has molded it. Has molded the kit. Although this aluminum piece is flush at the bottom here, it's actually got a space at the top. It's not right up against. But there is nothing, there's nothing that's causing it to stick out like that. It's just the way they've molded it. At least that's what it looks like. If I look at my yellow version, you can see at the back where it would mount is flush. This is flat. Totally flat here. Let me get the right angle here. Flat. That's totally flat, right? I'll take my ruler and show you. It's flat. But at the front, where it mounts, it's sticking out. You have this little piece that sticks out here, and that's what it does. That's why it's sitting like that. Okay. So yeah, that's why the front is going to stick out, even though you might think, oh, I didn't mount it properly, there's something wrong. There's nothing wrong, it's just that that's Tamiya's molding and what they've done with it. Their choice to mold that as a separate thing like that. Yeah, so that's it. Shocks are installed. Yeehaw. Okay, what's next? What's after shocks? Let's go back in our book and have a look. Shocks are mounted. Okay, shocks are all mounted. They're done. Next in the book, it's time to work on transmitter servo kind of stuff. So we've got to do our steering linkage. Got to work on that. So let's put this aside again, as we have to do steering linkage. So basically, we need to grab our D3. Grab our D. Oh, I love grabbing my D. Every guy loves to grab his D. Where is it? Where's my D? That's my B. I found my B. I want my D. Where's my D? Give me my D. Found my C. Found my F. I've got to have a D somewhere. I know I've got a D tree because I gotta have that piece. It's just a matter of finding it. Okay, I did find it in yellow. Found the yellow one. I do have the black version. I'm gonna have to find it though. So I will be back in a minute. And yeah, I'll be back in a minute. I gotta go grab it. I'll be back.
Later.
Alright guys, I'm back. And there it is. There's my D. I found my D finally. So, we're going to take this guy here. This is D3. Okay, D3. This is a moving part, so I want to make sure I've cleaned that up. I don't want any nub to interfere with any kind of movement on this. This is to do with your steering. So you need this clean. Okay, there we go. It's got to put a couple of bearings in it, which, using the Fast Eddie kit, I got 2 more bearings and that's it, the last ones. And I believe these are going to go in here, like that. 1 on each side. Like that, nice and tight. Okay, put this in this position. No. This position. We've got to put some ball bearings in there. Not ball bearings, but our little guys. These are MB8. MB8s. They are in which sprue? They are in the B tree, MB8. Which I think are going to be these guys. Match them up on the book. So I'll show you. We always got to match them up to the diagrams, right? So, see MB8, that's definitely it. So we need 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And this is where your Tamiya tool comes in handy once again. Where's my Tamiya tool? There it is. I actually got 2 of them on my desk here. This is where this comes in handy because this ball fits perfectly in there for you to tighten it up. Now this isn't actually the one, I think. Oh, maybe it is. Yeah, that's too big, so this is the one. Okay, so you can actually do this to hold it for you, and we're going to put 1 in each of these 3 holes. So you can use that to line it up so that it's straight. It just needs to be snug in there once it gets down all the way. Almost there. There we go. Okay. So we got those in. Okay. Now we got to take a look at our steering servo. Okay. Let's bring the book down here so you can see. We're going to look at our steering servo here, and we've got to mount these pieces. Now there are aluminum options for these. You can get them in whatever color you feel like. It's really up to you. And we have to do our servo saver. We need to build this thing. Okay. Which I believe we need to look at here. We need to build our servo saver on our servo. Okay, so let's go back a step and let's build our servo saver. Depending on which one we use, it's going to be what type of servo you have is going to depend on which kind of servo saver you build and which screws you use and all that fun stuff. Okay, so as I've mentioned before, I like to have Traxxas stuff. So, do I have my servo in here with me? Yes, I do. Okay. So, I chose the Traxxas 2075X servo. It is a Metal Gear waterproof servo. And that's why I chose it. It's a nice, hefty, strong servo. It's not necessarily the fastest servo out there, but it's pretty strong. It does the job. Metal Gear, waterproof. That's the main things I wanted. So it's not going to strip on me, and it's waterproof. If it gets wet, it's no problem at all, and that's why I like it. Okay, so you got to grab off of your B tree and that D5. Got to grab your D again. Right, D5 is this guy here. Good. Okay, we'll clean this up. Alright, now our B tree. Got some parts off of our B tree. Where's my B? B right here. Okay, we're going to need B6. It's this guy here. We're going to need B11 or 12. Why B11 or 12? 11 and 12, these are the ones that are going to make the difference depending on what you got. Okay, they are marked either Sanwa or Futaba. Okay, what that's referring to is the spline. You see how there's a spline on this, right? There's a spline on that gear, and depending on what servo you have is going to depend on which one of these two that you use. I already know because I've done the research. A Traxxas servo is the same as a Futaba. Okay, so I look at the one that's marked Futaba, it's marked there, this is the one I want. It was actually a little bit difficult to find exactly which one it is. Finding it online can be a little bit of a challenge, but I already know. Okay, so one thing you want to do, when you put this on here, it's going to be tough. I don't want to put it down all the way. See, it slides on nice, right? If I tried the other one, it wouldn't fit properly. What I need to do is figure out the middle. get our middle. I want to try and turn our servo here. Now you could hook it up and actually want to actually get this going. So this is going to go down on top like this. Is it? Yes, it is. It's going to go like that. Okay. And then this is going to go on top like this. And now, there. So you don't want to really crank it, but I can turn it. There's the end there. Okay. And let's find our other maximum. About there. So I want to actually take this off. I want to see. Okay, there's straight across. Now let's see where the other end is. Why am I doing this? I'm doing it because I want to find the actual middle. So we got a little more than a full 180. So that would mean that would be a little less. It's roughly there. Maybe one tooth over is going to be close to the middle. No, I don't think so. That would be 90. But we got a little bit more, so that's where I'm going to put it there. That's roughly the middle, but they want it down like this. Okay, which means this is the middle, but they want it at this kind of angle. Attach shown with the servo in neutral. Okay, so I'm actually going to put the servo. We were here, right? So we're going to put it in roughly the middle. That's about the middle there, I think. It's probably midway, and then we want it like this, in that position. Maybe one notch more. That's roughly what it's looking like. Pretty close anyway. That's where we want it. Now we got to choose our screw. It could be any one of these screws. Okay, so you want to find the one that's going to thread in there nicely. Okay, and all of our screws are in here. We've got different ones. We've got machine screws. We've got regular screws. I believe it's a machine screw. That's what it looks like. Let's see if this one will thread in. Threads in. Does it bottom out? What kind of depth do I have here? I bottom out right about there. But we'll see. They want me to put in MA7. MA7 looks like a lock washer. So I have it in here. No. Is it in here? No, I don't see a lock washer in here. So it's not in there or there. Maybe it's in the sea bag. Lock washer. Oh, I know where it might be. Where I've got all my gears and stuff. Regular washer. I got all kinds of little screws and stuff in here. But I'm not seeing a lock washer. I see a shorter screw that might be better to use. Maybe not, that might be too small. Yeah, that doesn't thread in. What about this one? That one will thread in, but that might actually be too short. Lock washer. Don't have a lock washer? Ah, there it is. Found it. Bingo. Lock washer. Okay. I'm actually showing MC5, and that's the one I'm supposed to use, not this short guy. So he goes back in here with his gears and all that kind of stuff. Lock washer. Now with the lock washer on there, I probably don't have to worry about anything. Now one thing I am going to have to do is there's going to have to be a nut, that a ball that goes on there. I know there is. Right there, another MB8. Yep, another one of those. That's got to go on here. It's easier to do it while it's off of the servo, so let's do it. There we go. Okay, now, once again, this lined up like that. And then our screw going down in there. Nice and tight. There we go. Okay, servo. Now we've got our mounts. Now you can use C11. It's off of the C tree. Okay. These two little blocks. Okay. You can use those, or you can go with an aluminum option. I think because I have some spare aluminum stuff from a kit I built a long time ago. I did build I built a TXT2. And I went with a bunch of aluminum stuff, and that's why I have this box here with a bunch of extra screws and stuff like that, and all kinds of stuff. And I have these aluminum ones. So I think I'm going to use these on that. I think I'm going to go with aluminum. I think that'll kind of finish off the aluminum look, even though they're not blue. Should in theory work. I'm just going to make sure our holes are going to line up the same. So you need to have a hole in the end like that, just like this does, and then have the holes here line up. It's a little bit longer, so maybe I'm going to mount it in the middle hole and use that as the bottom hole. Let's see here. In this position, they want it mounted like that, and so I could do this, and it'd be kind of in the middle like that. I don't know if that's going to be a problem. Let's look ahead to actually putting the servo on the truck. Where do we mount our servo? Right here. So what it's going to do is make it stick out, because the servo mounts like this on the side of the truck. The servo is going to mount here. Servo mounts here. And if I have this like that, it's going to sit like this. It's going to sit out, stick out a little bit. I don't think it really matters. As long as I have that. These actually are not going to work. These won't work. Because the middle hole on this is not threaded. Only these two, and these two are too far apart to actually work on this servo, so I cannot use my aluminum ones. Alright, that answers that question. So, I'm not using the aluminum. Let's get this out of the way. Flip this back. Oh, I guess I don't need that. C11. Okay. C11. Bing and bang. There we go. MA2 with a couple of MC15 washers, just regular washers. Where are my regular washers? I saw them. It's these guys. Bing. Bang. And I need MA2 screws. Those are longer, those are not MA2. Bing. Bang. Okay, these on here. What I'm going to do, see, we've got a nice little funky pattern on that side. That does not go against the servo, the flat side does. Okay, it's only one hole. You think, oh, if it's only one hole, then why don't you use the aluminum? The aluminum ones just don't line up properly, and so that's why I'm not using them. Later on, I have seen the blue aluminum ones that are specifically for this kit, and they're the exact same size as these. So yeah, later on, if I decide, oh, I really want to match it all up and really go crazy with my bling and have it all exactly matching stuff like that, and if I really care about that, I have that option. Go online, you can really buy all kinds of stuff for these guys. But is it necessary? No. Okay, getting that lined up a little bit like that. I want it in this position here. And our screws in the bottom hole. I want the washer on the outside. So like that. Okay. And now we'll thread it in the rest of the way. There we go. Okay. It is kind of funny that it's only one screw holding it in and not two, but that's okay because we got a screw going in there. There we go. Thumb to hold that down. Okay, there we go. It's nice and tight. Done. Okay. Now we're going to work on these things. What are all these? These are all our tie rods that are going to be involved with the steering. Okay. So we need to build those guys. So we're going to grab our MC10s and our MC9s. Where are these guys? These guys, I'm going to refer back to here. They're coming out of their C tree, MC10, MC9. So, as we're moving on in the build of the kit, we're finally moving on and getting more into our C bucket. Let's move our springs. I'm just going to put these into our A bucket because I need to get them all out of here. MC9 are these little rods here. Bingo. Just want to run away on me. And then, well, MC10, where are they? I don't see them in here. What? Well, I got them in a different bucket, and that's why. I kind of spread them up. They kind of look like that. Okay, we need a bunch of them. And this is kind of what happens when you see that these are they're not quite the same, right? The MC10 is actually these. Okay. Now, this is where I'm going to run into a little bit of a problem, because I've kind of moved things around and I got to try and find them everywhere, because I don't have them all in the exact same spot. Opening up all my kits and sprues and stuff like that, and then having it sit for over a month, well, that makes it so hard to remember exactly where everything is. So anyway, I'm gonna make 3 of these. I'll make one, and then that's where I'm gonna finish it off for today. Okay, so we'll just do this. You guys know you've got to do this 3 times. Okay, so all you do here, let's get that started in there. That once you get it in a few threads, it'll start automatically lining up. There is a part in the center that is smooth, so you can grab it with pliers. I don't like to use pliers with the jaw on them, just because it does that. See, now it's threaded in good. Okay. They give you do they give you a dimensions on how long to make these? Screw on both sides simultaneously as shown right here. We want 24 millimeters in between the two, right? Now, unlike our turnbuckles on the suspension, these are both right hand thread, righty tighty, lefty loosey. Okay, so now I'm going to grab my ruler. We want 24 millimeters in between. What am I at? I'm at about 27. Now you should be able to do this. And whichever one's tighter is going to tighten automatically. Let's have a look now. About 25 and a half. Let's go a few more turns. Line them up. And we are at I actually went too far. It's 23. 1, 2, 3. I'll go one more half turn. And that's 24 millimeter. Bingo, just like that. Okay, 24. So, with that, all you gotta do is put them on here. Okay, just take that, grab your pliers, This can be a little bit of a challenge to hold it on while you put pliers on it. That's why God gave you multiple fingers. Okay, do that, and you go snap, done. And you're gonna go, all 3 of them are gonna go on there like that. Okay, so I'm gonna find my other parts, my other MC10s, and I'll assemble those, and we're gonna continue on next time. Okay, guys, that's gonna be it for today. And yeah, so hit that like button, hit subscribe. Check out all those links down in the description box, and head over to my Twitch channel and follow me on there. You could even subscribe to me on Twitch. That would be awesome too. Check out my Instagram, and you can see still pictures of all the things that I've built in the past. So every time I build something, I take a few pictures of it and I throw it up on my Instagram. I don't throw it up. I don't throw up. So don't get any weird ideas. I put it up on my Instagram. Anyway, guys, I want to thank you for watching, and thanks for coming out. Thanks for all the support, and you guys are awesome. Thank you so much, and we'll see you all in the next one.